Hello and welcome back to New You Wow Going Places podcast. We have a very, very special edition today. I'm actually joined by co-hosts Louis Nobles, as well as spectacular guests Bradley and Erica Lubin, Miami natives married for 4.5 years. We're going to be talking everything love and relationships, and we're glad to have you here today because we want to celebrate the connections in our community, in our families, and help each other achieve epic breakthroughs. So, Bradley, Erica, how are you today?
Oh, we're doing great.
We're doing great. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No, it's just really, really exciting. When it comes to couples speak, a lot of times we always end up holding a mirror up to each other because it's going to be discovery for everyone. So we thank you for taking the opportunity to stop by, grace us with your presence. The very first question is more of an icebreaker. And Bradley's courageously volunteered to answer first. So we're going to ask if you could share with the listening audience something about yourself that very few people know, a hidden gem.
Oh, hidden gem about me. Most people know I love music, jazz, R&B, blues, rock. It doesn't matter what genre it is. But most people don't understand that I'm a big fan of Prince. Now people may look at me and say, "Wait a minute, you like Prince?" Like, yeah, definitely. A friend of mine, Brad, he kind of turned me on to Prince because at first you hear that name Prince and you know what kind of antics he pulled on stage. Most people was like, "Man, this guy's weird. This guy's, stay away from him." But when you really look at what he's able to accomplish, start doing research about him, one of his first songs that I remembered listening to, Little Red Corvette was one of my favorite songs. And I realized that, there was a lot of innuendo. But learning about him, that he played 21 different instruments, he writes, produces, arranges his own music, and the fact that he's able to discover another favorite artist of mine at the time, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was also part of that group. So when I start doing research about him, I'm like, man, I was blown away by him. So start researching his catalog, start, looking at different albums, the concept albums that he did. And so, most people don't know that about me.
No.
One of my favorite artists, yeah.
That's phenomenal. And, Lou's a big music buff as well. He's taught me to appreciate that an artist is never what they appear to be on the surface. A lot of times they have a reputation, but, the intelligence and the delivery, that's why they get those fans. Because when you figure out the story behind the person, I mean, Prince is such an extreme example. That's amazing. What about you? Mm-hmm. Something that people don't tend to know, but something about you, a little tidbit?
Well, much like my husband, I am a music head. I love music, but I also love communication. So I love playing music. I used to play when I was in middle school and high school. I used to play clarinet. But my dream was always to play guitar. I used to see some of these guitar, bands and these lead guitarists in these bands, do all these, awesome riffs, and the sound of the string instruments also, for me, captures the emotion a lot of times of a song or what you're feeling in that moment. Each of those strings have a chord that speaks to some of the emotions that you may feel as a human being. So actually most people don't know this about me, but I am a guitar novice. I actually am in the process of playing acoustic. So
That's nice, man.
How long ago did you start?
I've actually been about 2 months in. I've just started 2 months ago playing guitar, so I practice a little bit every day. I'm learning a few songs, and so far so good. I mean, it's practice, and so I hope to one day eventually incorporate singing. Most people don't know that about me either.
Look at that!
All right.
And so playing guitar and singing together would definitely be a good goal of mine to reach, for sure.
That is exciting. You know, a lot of people are discovering new things, new hobbies during the pandemic. So the fact that you've taken up an instrument, and on top of that, it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time to make it happen. That is huge. So just make sure we get free tickets to the first concert, okay?
Oh yeah, definitely front row. You know.
All right. So now the next question that we're curious about, and Lou's actually going to jump in on this one and share one too. He didn't know that he'd be jumping in here. Look at that face. If you could share a fond childhood memory, something that you're having a rough day and you think back to something that tickles your funny bone, or just something amazing that you're so happy you went through it. And Erica, we're going to have you go first on this one. And take your time.
Yep, I'm right there. Gotta go back some years now. Let's see. Oh yeah. There was a time when, my sister and I have an older sister. I'm the middle of the three siblings that I have. A brother younger, and then I'm the middle.
Okay.
My sister and I were very close. We were very close growing up. And oftentimes she knew that I loved music and I loved to dance. And I was a big Janet Jackson fan because her dance moves were epic.
Like who was
so I found myself like trying to mimic Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, Escapade, all of these intricate dance moves. And me and her actually did a talent show. I was doing the dancing, she did a little bit of singing, but I did my best impersonation of Janet Jackson. That was actually the most memorable, exciting, joyful time as a kid. I think I might have been like about maybe 8, 9 years old. I thought I was doing it. But enough, some of the persons that were watching us were friends of the family. They actually applauded in such a way, not just because we were kids, like, oh, they didn't want to hurt our feelings, but they said that we actually did a wonderful job. So that's an aspect of me that I love dancing. So dancing would have definitely been another area of, that I would have gone into. Choreography, for sure. I've done a little bit of it, but yeah, that was one of my, most, it makes me chuckle looking back. Like I thought I was Janet Jackson.
That's fantastic.
That's excellent.
Excellent. And what about Bradley? A memory that really is close to your heart?
Wow. There was one childhood memory that it was a ritual with me, my grandmother, my mother, my brother, my sister. Well, I remember it so much because my grandmother, coming from Haiti, didn't speak any English. But every time the Bulls would play in the NBA Finals, she would always be there with us watching the game. So me, my brother J.U., my sister, my mom would sit there huddled around the TV. And so my grandmother, the best English, would say, I can't stand that Jordan. But in Creole, it's like, I got a wet Jordan inside. That was, I can't stand Michael Jordan. So just to see her, my grandmother, again, never paid any attention to any type of American movies or anything like that. That wasn't her thing. But my father's memories, like the NBA Finals were there, Jordan would be playing the Utah Jazz, or he would be playing the Portland Trailblazers, or any other team in the finals.
Right.
She was against him because he was the win all the time. So it was just funny to hear when he would miss a shot. Yes,
Wow.
It was funny. I mean, describing it doesn't mean anything. You have to see it. She's so into it, and for her, you wouldn't think she would be involved in anything like basketball. But that was just one of my fondest memories. Right? Every year we used to, watch the basketball games or whatever. And, that was one of the fondest memories I have of her, sadly before she died, But spending time with her, my mom and everybody, that was one of the fondest times for me.
That's beautiful. And before we move on to Lou's, I just want to point out what I loved about both of yours was it resonates with emotion. You know, memories are collections, like little treasure boxes of how things made you feel. So Erica, when you're talking about that performance, it was collective because you felt amazing. Everyone was applauding. That's all that energy and that excitement. And you were basically getting reinforcement that a dream of yours could come true. And that's the beauty of childhood. And, you know, Bradley, when you're talking about your grandma, a very different reaction from most to Jordan. But I think it's great because you were able to see her in action. And, you know, when we're a child and we have these prior generations, sometimes we wonder about the older ones and their energy levels. So when we see them come to life and have a strong opinion on something, it sticks with us and it helps us, you know, remember them and know a little bit more about ourselves too.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to share this video and like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at @NewYouWow. Until next time, stand tall in your power and remember, your belief in yourself is your superpower.